work is the shortest cut to success. Just work really hard and people will identify it. Creative decision making is all about using your mind. I and my team at my production house, but me specifically, we read every script. I wouldn't say good, bad, ugly, different scripts. We read every script that comes to our doorstep. And I get along way better with my male co-stars than, I've worked with Akshay, worked with Shah Rukh, I've worked with Varun. I really get along. Abhishek, I've kissed Abhishek. I spend, for all you guys, I spend shitloads on supplements, man. Because I train, I need to train for the Hammer Brothers, you know what I'm saying? So, but for some of us, we believe that we are not just models, but we are role models. Remember that when you go down that road and when you're 40, be grateful to the people who helped you when you were 20.
Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Screen Academy's Masterclass. We're thrilled to have you with us today for what promises to be an insightful morning of conversation and learning. As we explore ideas, experiences, and journeys from within the world of cinema, it's only fitting that we are guided by someone who has chronicled the industry from the front lines. Please join me in welcoming Priyanka Sinha Jha, CEO of Screen Academy, former editor of Screen, senior entertainment journalist, and a noted author. Ma'am, may I now please invite you to come forward to the stage?
Thank you, Prashanti. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. We are very excited about our first edition of the Masterclass. I'm Priyanka Sinha Jha, COO of Screen Academy, and very excited that we are starting the inaugural edition of the Screen Masterclass with none other than actor-producer John Abraham. He, of course, has a very illustrious career, but before I describe his career a little, let me tell you about the Screen Academy. Screen Academy is a non-profit initiative by the Indian Express Group, along with Lodha Foundation, which is supporting us, and also the Indira Sivasalam Foundation, which is supporting us in this endeavor to promote excellence in cinema. Screen Academy members are experts from the film industry, from different domains, just like our guest today, and they have very generously agreed to participate in this initiative, which involves multiple activities such as masterclasses, mentorship, internship, among others. We've also, as the Indian Express Group, given scholarships to 13 film students from prestigious film institutes like Whistling Woods International, FTII Pune, and Satyajit Ray Institute of Films in Kolkata. And we intend to build on this and take this much further. As you can see, we at Screen Academy take our entertainment very seriously, and we are definitely going to build on this culture, which will promote and help us find newer cinematic and cultural voices from all across India. Now, besides all these activities that I just mentioned, Screen Academy members will also participate and help in the selection of the winners and nominees of the Screen Awards, now the Chetak Screen Awards, which will take place on 5th April. So we're very excited about that. And just to give you a little more idea of it, I'll ask the team to play the AV for the Screen Academy. Can we have the AV, please?
From the heart of India to the future of cinema, a new generation of storytellers is rising, and Screen Academy is shaping their journey. This not-for-profit initiative is dedicated to discovering, nurturing, and empowering tomorrow's filmmakers. With Lodha Foundation as its founder patron, with support from TAFE, and guided by veteran screenwriter Anjum Rajabali, Screen Academy bridges raw talent with world-class opportunity. Each year, it selects India's most promising young storytellers for fellowships at premier institutes such as Whistling Woods, FTII, and SRFTI. Through mentorships, masterclasses, and industry internships, Screen Fellows learn not just how to make films, but how to shape the industry itself. Because Screen Academy is built by the industry for its future. A powerhouse of visionaries, creators, and icons, all brought together as Screen Academy members. It's a list that combines imagination, inspiration, and impact. Abhishek Chaubey, Amritpal Singh Bindra, Amit Ray, Anand Mahindra, Anil Mehta, Atul Mongia, Bishwadeep Chatterjee, Deepa Bhatia, Deepa Mehta, Firoz Abbas Khan, Gaurav Gandhi, Gautam Ghosh, Guneet Monga, Jaideep Sahni, John Abraham, Kabir Khan, Karan Johar, Kausar Munir, Manish Malhotra, Manohar Verma, Maxima Basu, Mukesh Chhabra, Nagesh Kukurur, Namit Malhotra, Namrata Rao, Niharika Bhasin, Payal Kapadia, Pooja Ladha Surti, Pritam Chakraborty, Roshanjit Chatterjee, Rahul Dholakia, Rajiv Menon, Rajkumar Hirani, Ramesh Taurani, Ram Madhwani, Ravi K. Chandran, Resul Pukuti, Rima Das, Ronnie Screwbala, R.S. Prasanna, Sabhu Civil, Sameer Nair, Shamak Davar, Shujit Sarkar, Siddharth Roy Kapoor, Sri Ram Raghavan, Subhash Ghai, Shubhrata Chakraborty, Shujoy Ghosh, Swapnil Sonavane, Tanuj Garg, Vidya Balan, Vinay Kumar. Screen Academy members aren't just shaping the future of Indian cinema, they're defining its legacy. Through the iconic Chetak Screen Awards that's now entering a meaningful digital-first era under the Academy's independent stewardship. A nationwide celebration of storytelling, the awards bring together cinema's biggest stars, finest filmmakers, and India's fastest rising creators. The evaluation process is rigorous, transparent, and credibility-led. Overseen by EY and guided by scholar-in-residence Dr. Priya Jaikumar, Chair of Film and Media Studies at the University of Southern California. The awards are judged on a robust academic framework that places integrity at the heart of recognition. From nurturing young talent to honoring cinematic excellence, Screen Academy is shaping the storytellers of tomorrow. Screen Academy, where India's stories meet their future. To apply for fellowships or to learn more about the Screen Academy, visit screen-academy.org.
Thank you for that. And now, for the very sort of the exciting, glamorous session that we have in store for you, for which all of you have turned up at this hour, where I believe that the exams on and all of you had classes, but you've showed up to listen to John Abraham because he's such an inspiring story. But let me just say a few words. I have his permission to claim that he's my friend. So yes, I've known as a journalist, I've known John for quite some time now. And I've had the privilege, actually, of seeing his career, see him grow from being a supermodel to one of the most acclaimed and bankable stars in Bollywood. It's not come without its share of struggles and difficult phases. But here he is, and I think I can vouch very confidently that he is truly an example of creative decision making.
Hi guys. I'll just give you a little brief about myself, where I started from, because a lot of you would probably identify with that process or where I all came from. And that will give you context of why I am here and what I'm here for. My name is John Abraham. My father's a Syrian Christian from Kerala. He's a Malayali, like we commonly call them Mallus. Okay, so my father's a Mallu. My mother's an Irani. My grandfather came down from Iran, I think in the 1930s, so some time ago. She's a Zoroastrian. So there are Parsis and there are Iranis. So they say Parsis are half mad, Iranis are full mad. So that makes me half mad technically. So that's where my mother came from. she used to play basketball for India, my mother. Uh, my father stayed in the YMCA, overstayed his time in the YMCA, where he saw this pretty girl playing basketball. He fell in love with her. They went out for 5 years, then she had to run away from home, and I was born. Okay, that's where we started from. Okay. Are you clapping because I was born or my father did a good job? I don't know. Anyway, so that's where my journey started. I went to a school called Bombay Scottish. I'm born and brought up in the city of Mumbai, then called Bombay, which meant beautiful bay, if I'm correct. When the Portuguese, ruled over our city, it's called the beautiful bay, Bombay. But the original term is Mumba Devi, and that's where we started from. So I studied in Scottish. I went to a college called Jai Hind College. My most formative years, my schooling years, were the best years of my life. Scottish gave me a lot in terms of my peers, my group of people that I grew up with. In those days, it was probably, which I didn't realize, it was probably the most filmy school. My super senior was Amir Khan, who I deeply admire and love and respect, and I'm a big fan of. My classmate was Hrithik Roshan, who I totally love, and he's one of the most wonderful human beings that you could possibly meet. He's a genuine soul, and he's a sweetheart. But in school, you're not an actor. You're just classmates in school. My other classmate was Uday Chopra. Abhishek Bachchan was from our school. Ranbir Kapoor was from Scottish, and lovely boy. That's why sometimes I joke, the entire Dhoom franchise is full of Scottishites, and so on and so forth. We had a lot of people from Scottish that belonged to the film industry. Keeping that aside, schooling was probably the best time of my life because my parents told me that, and this goes for all of you, education is very, very important in your being, in your processes in life, not for that certificate that you get, but also for the knowledge you possess. And it's important to possess that knowledge in today's landscape where you could be influenced by social media in any possible way. We actors, we're a prisoner of our own image. You see somewhere where it says, oh, John Abraham's become really thin. And then suddenly you see him here, you say, wait, it doesn't seem to be matching with what I read on social media. There's a bit of disconnect. So I'm saying social media shapes a lot of your perception. So it's very important to read, to understand where all this information is coming from, understand all perspectives, which is why education is important, which is why my schooling days are very important to me. College was important to me because I majored in economics, and I think my then professor, my principal, Mr. Shiv Dasani, shaped my life. He took me in when I was standing outside on the roads of Jai Hind, and I didn't have admission. And I saw him, and he said, "Come in, son, I want to talk to you." And he took me in, and bless his soul, he's no more with us, but he shaped my life. After which, my parents kept telling me, study, study, study. And I said, but how much do I study? I mean, enough, bahut ho gaya, yaar. And after I did my graduation, my dad left my hand and he said, okay, son, you're on your own. And that's where I got insecure. So I decided that I need to sit for something called a common entrance test, a CET. I sat for it. In my time, 80,000 people, students sat for it. Only 800 got through, of which 400 were reserved. So I was in those 400 students that got through. And I did my MBA. I specialized in marketing. And it was a very interesting journey. In fact, I met a gentleman here and this is not some curated conversation because we'll open it up for you guys to talk to me also, but I'm just setting a context. I met a gentleman here called Stephen who was working with me in Euro RSCG, my first advertising agency. So between MBA, between your first and your second year, you have to do something called an internship for 2 years. So in that internship, I went to an ad agency called Euro RSCG. In those days, it was an international agency that came down to India. I went in there, and the main boss threw me out. And I went back in there, and there was a gentleman there called Mr. Ramani who took me in, and I became a media planner. A media planner is someone who, if you're Pepsi and you give me 10 crores, it's my job to make sure it reaches my target audience effectively through the media I plan, whether it's digital, whether it's whatever. So I plan that media, and it's a scientific process, and that's what I did for a living. After my internship, I went back into my MBA, and a model didn't turn up one fine day when I was working in an ad agency as a media planner after my MBA. And my boss said, John, why don't you just go and, it's only showing your genes, so just why don't you go and, do that campaign. So I wore this pair of jeans, and a woman came up to me in those days, and she said, oh, I love the way you fill up your jeans. And I was like, oh, that's intense. And she meant it, because that was my first campaign. It was a jeans commercial. I accidentally became a model, and then I went in for a competition called Glad Rags. Then I went in for the international modeling competition. I won there, and then I signed up with an agency in New York. So I modeled in New York for a bit. Then I modeled in London. Then I modeled in Singapore. So I modeled all over the world. And in my time, modeling was not holding a pan masala thing and dancing, okay? Modeling was credible. Modeling was walking the ramp. You're a clothes horse. I'm 6 feet 1.5 inches tall. So my job was to make clothes look good, or clothes make me look good. But walk the ramp, go up and down, come back, and I used to model for international brands. That's what I did. Then I came back to India, did a few music videos here. Did a few ad campaigns, and then Mr. Mahesh Bhatt called me and said, son, I'd like you to meet me. I met him in Pooja Bhatt's office, and the rest is history. I had my first film, which was, I accidentally got it. I never planned to get into film. So I was an accidental model. I was an accidental actor. But when I became an actor, the first film that actually shaped my life was a film called Schindler's List. So, because when I saw Schindler's List, I was blown. It shook my mind for 5 days. And have any of you guys seen Schindler's List here? I mean, I'm sure film school people would have seen Schindler's List. And those who have not, please watch that film. Schindler's List is a fantastic film. I saw that film and I said, listen, if I get into filmmaking, this is what I would like to do. These are the kind of films I'd like to make. Well, so be it. I got into films, and it was all about the jism. It was all about the body. And I said, listen, I'm a marketing person. And if people like the body, it's not a bad thing. It's decent, you show it, and you market it. You position yourself in the mind of the audience with the physicality you have. And then it was, I guess, in that phase, it was Dostana, it was, Shootout at Vadala, it was Force, and it was about the body. And I said, this is great, man. This is good fun, but I still want to make the films I want to make. Which is when I decided that once I have the financial muscle and even the integrity to do it, I said I'll make the kind of film I want to make. And the first film we were writing was a film called Madras Cafe. I was very deeply impacted by the assassination of our ex-Prime Minister, and I'm a very geopolitical person. I understand the geopolitics of the world, because that's a space that I indulge in, which I would encourage all of you to kind of get into, even though you're young, and I know you'll watch Instagram reels, and you'll spend a lot of time doing that. It would be nice to know what's happening in Iran and Argentina and Indonesia and everywhere. So I said Madras Cafe is something I really want to do. In the midst, we developed a film called Phool Kile Gulshan Gulshan, which was strange. I read the script, fell in love with it. Shujit and I called a young enterprising boy into our office, and that film was renamed Vicky Donor, and the boy was Ayushman. And that was my first venture out as a producer. And I said, listen, I want to be different, I want to be disruptive, and I want to make films that impact society in some way or the other. And I want to make geopolitical films as well that would reach you guys in an entertaining way without boring you. And from there, my journey started. I made the Madras cafes of the world, I made the diplomats of the world, the Batla houses, the Parmanus of the world, and the Teherans of the world. So that's the space I got into. This is my journey from when I was born to where I am right now. For the rest of you who love fitness, I still train every day. I wake up at 4:30. I sleep by 9:30. Yes, I don't. Everybody keeps telling me, "वो कपिल शर्मा के शो में आपने बोला था आपने शक्कर नहीं खाया." I don't have sugar. I think it's criminal. I think it's horrible. And I wake up at 4:30. Some of you guys probably go home by 4:35 in the morning. That's when I wake up. And that's where my day starts. And my day starts, guys, and again, something that you can probably take home. My day starts not by training. I first train the mind. I'm obsessed with chess. So I read books on chess, and I that's my favorite game in the world. You see, an actor is a prisoner of his own image, right? People would have thought that it's about fitness, about workouts. No, I work my mind out first. So chess is very important to my processes. So I actually study games in chess, and I encourage those guys who don't know how to play chess to learn the game. It's a beautiful game, and it'll teach you about life. Chess will teach you how to make those 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 moves forward. So that's what I do. Then I see a lot of beautiful women here, a lot of handsome guys out here. I do train. I don't train for vanity. I train because I like training. And just to give you a piece of trivia, I did a film called Pathan. And in Pathan, I was in Spain and I was chilling. I just landed, and of course, Shah Rukh, me, Sid, we were all sitting and we were grabbing a bite, and Sid was eating, and he said, "John, tomorrow you get out of the pool." And I'm like, "What?" I said, "But," he's saying, "No, you get out of the pool tomorrow." And I'm like, "Sid, but I'm not ready." And he said, "How many days do you need?" I mean, "John, we have to," I said, "But this wasn't part of the script." And so he said, "How much time do you need?" I said, "I need one more day." So that happened because I always believe that you have to be in a close to transformed state. You can't get into these transformational videos, because then there are ways and means to get there. You have to be close to a transformed state. I waited. In fact, the next day he did a shot of me getting out of the pool, and then the next day after that, I walked towards Shah Rukh, which was, I think, the most romantic shot of Shah Rukh and me walking towards each other. It's beautiful because he's such a lovely guy again. So the point I'm trying to make is fitness is very important to me. For girls and boys, I think it's not out of narcissism. I think it's good to stay fit just for your dietary reasons. A lot of us, India is a diabetic capital of the world. So just be fit, eat the right kind of food. And then my day starts. So my day starts at about 7:30 with the rest of the world. The world wakes up and comes for their first meeting to me at 10 o'clock, by which I've finished, I think, about 6 hours of my day. Half my day has gone in this. But the first 6 hours have been supremely productive. So and creative decision making is all about using your mind. I think my most productive hours are in the morning. I keep myself absolutely clean. I work my mind. I absorb. So, for example, Parmanu is a film that happened to me at 7 in the morning, where I got an idea and I said, why can't we make a film about the nuclear tests that India conducted, and why can't we make it palatable to our Indian audience? So the first narration that I had in the office was after 6 months when we developed that script. And the first narration, the producers, the prospective producers, the studio that walked out of there, they said, "Itni buri script humne life mein suni nahi." And I smiled because I know I'd done the right thing. Because we follow formula, right? And when you follow formula, you usually don't make the rightest things in the world. You know? Okay, oh, this has worked. Like today you say Durandar has worked. So now let's all do what's happening there. And that's where we start going wrong. We don't want to try something different. And that's it. I jog my mind in the morning. The rest of the day goes in a shoot. When I'm shooting, I shoot one film at a time. That gives me the bandwidth to understand what I'm doing. For me today, it's not about the money I'm making. Today, it's about the respect that I want to get. That's very, very important to me. It's about the legacy that I want to leave behind as a filmmaker, as an actor, which is why Priyanka asked me to be a part of the Academy. It's a non-profit organization, which is why I'm here. And the first thing I told Priyanka is, Priyanka, I don't go to film awards because they have zero credibility. And she said, I get that. I get that. And I would want to believe that Screen wants to create a very credible base so that we see awards in a different light. So I wish Priyanka all the very best. You must have seen the Academy members. They're all fantastic people. They're far more accomplished than I am by light years. So it's only going to get better for you guys from here when you get the others coming on for the masterclass. And I think I'm the guinea pig. I'm the first guy who's talking to you. So mere par haath saaf karo aise. But I'm happy being here, happy having a conversation with you guys. And thank you for being an audience and hearing me out patiently, because I know watching a long movie also is very tough and boring sometimes. So you'll heard me out. Thank you so much. This is my journey. Priyanka's going to be asking me a few questions now, after which I'm sure the floor is going to be left open to you guys who want to ask me very specific questions on how I made certain decisions that I made and why I made certain decisions that I made, good, bad, or ugly. But before Priyanka comes on board, I'd just like to let you know one thing. A lot of us out here talk about our successes that made our career. I keep repeating and I say, it's my failures that made me. All my films that have failed are the ones that actually defined me. Water didn't even run a single day. Didn't run a single day in India. Didn't run even one show. And I went for the Academy Awards, and I wouldn't mention, one of the biggest directors of the world who I really admire said, you were so beautiful in Water, and your performance was so poignant and so understated. And I said, sir, my country doesn't appreciate that because we like overstated. In those days, it wasn't about turning like this, it was about, turning like this. And that's something I would not do, could not do. That is not part of my DNA. I didn't get it. But yeah, I lived a long time under a rock thinking that, listen, my performances are understated, so I'm underperforming. But today I come and sit in front of you with a lot of self-conviction, knowing that till the last film, till The Diplomat, my performances are very nuanced. We go through a lot of processes to get the performances we want to get. A lot of us get coached before every film. So it's not fun and games. We don't make proposals. At least I don't want to make proposals anymore. I want to make films. And we're very proud of what we do. And I would speak for a lot of us in the fraternity that we put in a lot of effort. So that was Water. The other film that I really enjoyed, where again, it was one of the films where critics walked out halfway, was No Smoking. No one loved it. But No Smoking is probably one of my favorite films. I'm very proud of that film. And I say this for a reason, because all of you are going to be questioned in life as to the decisions you guys are making. And trust you me, if your gut and your instinct is in the right place, just go ahead with that decision. Do not worry about what anybody is telling you, whether this is right or wrong, etc. When I made Madras Cafe, my studio head told me that since this film is going to be disastrous and it's going to fail, how are we going to make up for it? That same studio head went and collected all the national awards for it. When I made The Diplomat, which is so recent, my studio saw the film and said, this is the biggest mistake and the worst film we've made. The Diplomat, the worst film. Till a certain Mr. Anurag Kashyap, Subhash Kapoor, Vishal Bhardwaj, Imtiaz Ali, Sriram Raghavan all saw the film just before the release and said, wow, this is beautiful. And then the studio head started scratching his head saying, where did I go wrong? You know, but by then it was too late. Am I worried about numbers in this case? No. But I'm worried about, because sometimes 40 crores of business can give you 400 crores of credibility. That's very important, because we know that we fudge numbers. We know we make up numbers. Okay? I've got this angst against pan masala, so I say we fudge numbers just like we endorse pan masala, which is disastrous. But we do it. So I wanted to stay away from that. I wanted to be in the credible space, which is why I'm before you guys here today, not just as an actor, not just as a producer, but also something you could take away possibly as a human being and have faith in yourselves. Thank you so much for this time. I'm going to leave the floor open to Priyanka. Priyanka, come. Yeah.
John, that was fantastic. I'm sure, like, everything that you just said has given me a lot more questions. And I'm sure even our audience, they've already sent in their questions, and I'm sure they'll have a few more. So can't wait to get started. I'm sure all of you already know that John did an MBA, and he was a media planner in an ad agency for a while before he turned to modeling. Now, how did he become a media planner? There's a story there. So John, you want to tell us about how you became the media planner? You went for this internship.
Yeah, I told you guys, I was thrown out. I was told, why are you loitering around? And I went down, and my ex-boss was a gold medalist in a math Olympiad, and I'm obsessed with math. I love math. I knew my log tables. I knew everything at the back of my head. And I said, listen, I want to work with you. I went back up, and in those days, there's such a big book that we had called the National Readership Survey, the NRS, to understand demographics, like if you're SEC ABC, socioeconomic class ABC, how do you bifurcate? How do I sell my one product just to you, or one product to you and one product to you? So that was very important to understand what the readership was for different magazines, for different channels, etc. So then you can plan your media accordingly. So I went back up again, and he threw this book in front of me and said, make something out of this. And Steven said, I didn't realize this. He said, you were a nerd. You were a nerd, and you used to just sit there and work so hard and put your head down. The only time you put your head up was when you realized that I had a motorcycle. And that's like, Kaunsa motorcycle. And that's when I went. So that was my life, yeah.
So the geek shall inherit the earth. John, to you, my question is that, when you come from a different background, and this is a challenge I find, a lot of youngsters come to me with this question and forums and stuff, that this is not my background, I'm not from the film industry, I'm not in Bombay, and I want to be a part of the entertainment business. They haven't quite formulated what they want to be. They come from a general background. Parents usually want them to do an MBA or IT or anything. If they are in any of these disciplines, right, and they may have started moving in that direction, how can they kind of pivot and use their skill sets and training to perhaps come to this point where they can be a part of entertainment industry. And somebody like you, if you can, because you did your MBA and then you did modeling and then you came to the, decide to be an actor. So just
okay,
in terms of skill sets, how do you utilize that well to be a part of the entertainment industry?
Okay, the bad news first. The bad news is the industry is very
Insular?
It's very insular. The industry is very insular. That's the bad news. The good news is you have, not because I'm sitting here, but you have something called the Screen Academy today. You have Whistling Woods and FTI. You have different organizations that can give you an inroad into the industry. If I had to answer this question 15 years ago and you asked me, so how does one get in? I just say you're screwed. You can't. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. Today, I'd say there are ways and means. The fact that I'm sitting here, the fact that some of the academy members are people who you felt were unreachable, can be reached. I think and with the background you have, even if you come from out of town and like people come to J Entertainment, for example, they wait at the gate, some of them. Yeah. I'm not saying we do it all the time, but when someone walks in and we see this person's got potential, we take them as an intern on board. And then we understand where that person wants to go. Does that person want to produce? Does that person want to direct? Sometimes that person comes with this inherent thing that they want to perform. And they feel apologetic about it. And I'm like, you don't need to be apologetic about it, What makes us more special than you? Nothing. Nothing. It's just that we're here, we've got the right opportunity, we came in at the right time, so we're here. You have that opportunity, maybe through us, maybe not through us, maybe through someone else, but you can make it. So I think people come in with different dreams and aspirations, and I can tell you, there are a lot of producers like me today in the industry that are very, very receptive. So when you go out there, some of the people here, like you, Karan Johar, and I say this behind his back, one of the most wonderful people, one of the most wonderful human beings, receptive human beings, Rajkumar Hirani, wonderful person, someone I didn't see here, but someone who's fantastic, Farhan Akhtar. These are wonderful, wonderful people who are smart, intelligent, and if they see some kind of potential in you guys, they'll immediately lap you up. I wouldn't be able to say this 10 years ago, but I can say this today.
I'm going to ask you another question about, which is a common topic and a huge topic of interest amongst students and young. Fitness, you spoke about it when you were talking to them. If I were to flip that question, fitness of course is also like a health related issue, but physicality, now you've of course typecast for quite the opposite reasons because, like you had a great physique, you were good looking, so people boxed you as somebody who was just a good looking face, maybe, as an actor, it took you some time to
Correct.
sort of, have your learning curve and gain that respect.
Yeah.
On the flip side, usually people think that if you have to join the film industry, especially as an actor facing the camera, you have to be good looking, and which may or may not necessarily be the case. Now, how do you use your physicality to have like a get a positive response when you face the camera, if you can share something about that?
See, first of all, please understand the film industry is a visual medium.
Right.
So, if you're getting in front of the camera, you have to look a certain way. The good side is that if you are presentable and if the audience does like you, half your battle is won. A lot of your battle is won. If the flip side is that if you're just good looking, you've got to really work hard to prove to people that you can perform. So there are two sides to the coin. Right. And in today's date and age, no one's going to come down lightly on you. Especially in the world of social media. You say good morning and the reply you get is, what's so good about the morning? You know? So it's a toxic place. No one really cares. So you've just got to put your head down and do your work. So there's no specific advice I can give anybody, because looks are also very, very subjective. You know, I could be great looking for someone, I could be horrifically horrible for another person, and that's absolutely okay. For one man food, for the other man poison, and there's no harm in it, you know? So you just have to go out there and just, you've come here to perform. And by the way, sorry I'm digressing. If you haven't, it's a film that just released recently, One Battle After the Other. Please watch it, for heaven's sake. I mean, especially for people who are interested in films and people who just, please watch that film. That's a masterclass in itself, that film. So,
as an actor, because there are a lot of writers and directors here, budding writers and directors, what I want to ask you is that as an actor, what is it that kind of really enables you, and you know, when you're working in a team with a director or a writer, what are the things that you look for and which makes you feel like, okay, this is a director that I want to work with? What are the things that our budding directors and writers can keep in mind, especially when they're working with stars? Because, you know, like sometimes people go with preconceived notions that I should write in this way or I should behave in this way.
Yeah.
So if you can tell us something about that.
What I look for, so you've asked me a lot of questions in one, but to start with, I look for collaboration. I feel the director has to be collaborative. That's most important. So we can have a conversation. Finally, I believe it's a director's medium. It's not as much an actor's medium as it's a director's medium. The actor's a means to an end. The director has to call the shots. He's the hero of the film. You know, it's his responsibility. He's like the jockey, okay? He sits on this horse called an actor, and you know, if that jockey decides to take the horse in the wrong direction at breakneck speed, the horse will go at breakneck speed in the wrong direction. So I think the director calls the shots. The director has to be collaborative. For someone like me, it's all in the script. It's content, it's writing. So if a script is, I remember The Diplomat was kept on my table one morning. I go to my office at 7 o'clock in the morning. I picked it up. There was no one in the office. 7 o'clock, no one wakes up. So I go to the office and I open the script and I read a script a day. So I read it. By 9 o'clock, I was done. 9:30, I made a call. I said, I want to meet this director, the producer and the director. 9:30, so I think at about 10:30, Mr. Shivam Nair walked in. Okay, I'd never met him before. He was a wonderful gentleman. If you know about Shivam Nair, he's a fantastic guy. You should see some of his work. He sat there and I said, you know, Shivam, it's your medium. He said, yes, it is my medium. You know, she was very clear, you know. And we had a conversation. By 12:30, I said, I'm doing this film. In the next 3 months, we started this film, and that was my story. So for me, it's all in the script, as in the content, the writing. I and my team at my production house, but me specifically, we read every script. I wouldn't say good, bad, ugly, different scripts. We read every script that comes to our doorstep, you know. Then we evaluate it. Then we call in the writer. Then we asked if a director is attached to it. So there are processes to it. And listen, we do it differently. Someone else does it differently. A far bigger organization like Dharma would probably do it very differently because they are massive. So I am still at a stage where I could read myself and I could take calls myself. And I think a lot of my success as a producer, as a filmmaker, has come because I take those calls myself. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So that's where I start from.
We were just talking about it a little earlier. The time that you decided to make a shift from modeling to acting, you had a very clear focus because you had reached a certain pinnacle in modeling.
Yeah.
And you felt that there was no further growth and that in a few years the profession would be dead. literally, right?
Yeah, there's no concept of modeling, yeah.
And so you decided to pivot and then get into acting, and you were very focused about it. You had that clarity. What is it that one needs to have when one is making a professional pivot? In this case, it could be from a non-film career to a film career, or in within movies, it could be from being a director to an actor, or from a writer to director. What would you say is key to keep in mind?
I think you've answered the question in your question. You said clarity.
Right.
I think you need to have clarity. You need to be very convinced that you want to do this. If you have clarity, then just follow your gut. Like if you're a writer and you want to be a writer, or you want to be a producer, or you want to be a director, just follow your gut. Don't allow anybody else to tell you something else, including your own best friends or your own family members. No. And that goes for everything across the board. Could be even for your food. But
Right.
don't allow anybody to dictate terms to you.
Right. So have clarity in terms of what you want to do,
What you want to do.
where you
Yeah.
want to go,
Yeah.
and then stick with it.
Yeah, and listen, everybody makes mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail. No harm in failing. And I tell this to people, it's good to fail. It's really, really healthy not to see success. It's good to fail because it'll help you in your processes. So if you've written something and it's not gone down too well with an X amount of people, it's absolutely okay. Start all over again. You're like young, you've got all the time in the world. Take your time, just make those mistakes, go back to the drawing board. No one's going to judge you. Please don't think that the world's here to judge you, and please don't think that your world is only this little social media world that where on Instagram you need those filters. You know, just get out there. And I said this 15 years ago, Priyanka, you're one of the first people I said it to. I said, one day the real world will become the virtual world and the virtual world will become the real world. And that's exactly what has happened today, because we only are here to gratify our social media audience. Another piece of trivia for most of you guys, and I say this, I don't have social media on my phone. I have handles that are handled by my manager. I have no social media on my phone. I don't read comments. Not because I think it's good, bad or ugly. I don't read comments. So I'm completely disconnected from a lot of the toxicity that exists out there. So it's a great way to start my life and my morning.
You mentioned something about don't let somebody else tell you what you should be doing, how you should be doing it. I want you to sort of also maybe use an example of any of your failures, you know, where you didn't succeed and people may have told you differently and you stuck to your guns.
Yeah.
If you can share something about that.
I think Madras Cafe is the best one,
Right.
where, you know, everybody said,
Yeah.
don't make this film. There was never a film made like this. I mean, that doesn't have songs in it. It doesn't have a heroine in it. It doesn't have a love story in it. What are you making? What kind of a hero are you where, you know, the Prime Minister is dying in the end? I'm like, but it's a true story. He did die. You know, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know, and everybody said, don't make it, don't make it, don't make it. And all credit to Shujit Sarkar. Brilliant filmmaker. We both stuck to our conviction. We made the film we wanted to make. I produced that film and I said, listen, whatever said and done, we're going to make this happen. And today, like I said, the films that have failed commercially for me are the ones that are most remembered, that I am most remembered for.
True.
I didn't say Madras Cafe really failed, but yeah, I didn't do well. No Smoking, completely bombed. I'm remembered for No Smoking. The Diplomat did okay. But people who meet me today, even on a flight, say, wow, The Diplomat. But there is also that audience, Priyanka,
Yeah.
that loves me for the Manya Surve, that loves the, you see, that
There you go.
loves the Dostana, that
Dostana,
loves
yes,
the,
one of my favorite films.
yeah. So, I mean,
Dhoom, you forgot Dhoom.
yeah, Dhoom. I mean, but
Pathan also.
yeah,
Ashim.
but you could make a Dostana which is so contemporary, so cool, not slapstick, but still make it cool and presentable to an audience. So I'm saying commercial cinema is so much fun. It's so beautiful. It's just that, just don't tip over the line. That's it.
another, very sort of topic that is close to everyone's heart is that competition. When you are in any field, there is tough competition, but in show business, perhaps because it's so attractive to so many people, and then it's also a little unstructured. It's getting better, but what is your, like you've been part of this, and you've done movies like Pathan, where you are playing a villain in front of Shah Rukh, no less, right?
Yeah.
And many other projects where you're sharing screen space. We just spoke about Dostana, Dhoom,
Yeah.
where there are like, contemporaries who are as good or maybe more popular than you or not, but they're very strong sort of entities by themselves, which is a sort of situation that, well, I think everyone finds themselves in,
Yeah.
in different professions.
In different professions.
What is the best way forward in these situations, which kind of, where you don't diminish yourself, but you keep your own standing, and at the same time, you're not like sort of being non-collaborative?
Yeah, I think the best way is to train your mind to know that you're not competing, but you're complementing. And I get along way better with my male co-stars than I've worked with Akshay, worked with Shah Rukh, I've worked with Varun. I really get along.
Abhishek, Shah Rukh.
Abhishek, oh,
Yeah.
Abhishek, I've kissed Abhishek. I love him. So, I've worked with all of them, and I really think I get along with them, and they look at me as someone who complements their process, and I look at them as someone who complements my process. So for me, I'm not really competitive in that space. I'm a guy's guy. So I'm very comfortable around guys. Put my hand around, hey buddy, do this, and so that beauty shows in the films. When I did a film with Nana Patekar called Taxi 911, the first day he said, hey, idhar aa. And he called me and I said, yes sir. And he said, pata nahi tere mein kya hai? Ye le, mere bhaji se baat kar. And I said, hello. He said, fark sirf itna hai ki tu chocolate boy aur mera color chocolate hai. Chal. And that was the first statement. And trust you me.
Tu chocolate boy, mera color chocolate hai.
And
Amazing.
And till today, Nana Patekar and me are, I'm so close to him. We love each other. He's in touch with me like once a month. He'll say, Jona, kaisa hai tu? So there's this sense of bonding that I have with my co-stars, especially my male co-stars, that really works out well for me. I messaged Abhishek the other day. I think one of the most, you guys, if anybody is aspiring to be a director here who writes, Abhishek Bachchan is fantastic. Whatever people, he's outstanding. He's outstanding. So another wonderful person, Akshay. Akshay is all fun. Akshay is pretty much like me. Akshay and I wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning. Two of us are on set at 7 in the morning before the entire unit. And he'll be like, Sundi, so he's like on the ball. I don't think there is anybody fitter and more present and more positive than Akshay. He's a beautiful person. And so on and so forth. So each one brings a certain value to your process. With Shah Rukh, it was just, Shah Rukh has destroyed everybody's idea of romance because he's so charming and so lovely, and the way he, when you see romance in the real world, someone like a guy like me, like, oh, this is not what romance is Shah Rukh Khan,
That's true. He's the epitome of romance.
He's beautiful.
Yeah.
So everybody lends a certain thing to your processes, and that's why I get along a lot with my male co-stars. I'm guilty of killing my wives off in the first 5 minutes of the film. So we've got to change that around, and I think
Too much romance.
Too much of romance. So my next film will change that around a bit.
About validation. We all seek validation.
Yeah.
People love awards.
Everybody, all these youngsters here seek validation with one post, and if someone says something negative about any one of them, their brains are jacked. They won't know what hit them.
So I was coming to that, mental health, validation. In this field especially, and in every field, but definitely in this field, where you're open to public scrutiny at a different level. How do you sort of brace yourself that you've signed up for this, There will be good, bad, and ugly. How do you keep your head in the game and not get distracted by all the noise around and keep yourself safe?
Very important for you guys, and that's something that's kept me going in an industry where I've probably been criticized the most from the time I started. When I came in 2003, there were no outsiders in the industry when I came in. I think before that there were only Shah Rukh and Akshay that came in 88 and 89. So the amount of criticism Priyanka knows that I have gone through, I don't think anybody has gone through in my time. But for me, it was very simple. I was like a horse with blinkers. I could only see in front. I didn't expect any kind of, and honestly, I say this, another piece of trivia, I don't have a publicist.
Yeah.
I've never had a publicist. No. I don't go out there to feed stories in the media, nothing. Could make me vulnerable as well, but I think people know my integrity, people know where I come from. So I just looked in front and I did the job I want to do, and that goes for all you youngsters. Even the youngsters like this gentleman who has a zero attention span, which is okay, you're normal. Everybody is like you only, my friend, you know. So I'm saying when you just, you know, you can't, you have to kind of just look in front, forget everything else, forget all the noise around you and concentrate. Like, my point right now is that people here who want to receive what I'm saying positively and take away something from this will do that. People who don't want to will not. But my point is I have to get that message across to maybe if there are 100 people here, at least one person should go back, if no one else. So my sense of work is I initially would have probably looked out for validation, but after a point, validation didn't matter to me. The only validation that mattered to me, for all you guys who write a good script, who go for a great workout, who want to look good, is am I looking good for myself? Am I writing the best stuff that I'm doing for myself? Your validation should come from you and not one person around you. Not your girlfriend, not your boyfriend, not your partner, not your best friend, not your family. No one, not people in your class, no one. Your validation should come from you. I have only survived because of self-conviction and nothing else. No one has helped me. I can proudly say, I have no godfather. I have no godfather. Who's helped me? No one's helped me. But I'm here. I'm standing here because I'm convinced that I can do it. I'm convinced I can give a banging performance in this film. I'm convinced that I can get the best body for this film. I'm convinced that I am convinced I can do it. I don't need X, Y, Z to tell me that I can do it. Yeah. If someone tells me, hey, you're looking good today, I'll say, thank you so much. Yeah. But that's a byproduct of your self-conviction. So each one of you has to be convinced about what you are doing. Whether you want to become a doctor tomorrow, you want to do whatever you want to do. Listen, you don't have to pay attention. You can just enjoy. Honestly, I love you the way you are because you were talking. I'm like you here. I would be talking and I'd be enjoying. And I love the fact that we're both having a ball. Because even I'm talking to her, you're also talking to your friend. Yeah, come on, go on. Yeah.
John, when you told your parents that you want to like sort of get into modeling first and then like movies subsequently, because you know family is also a conversation to have, right? Because when you're young, you need to have that dialogue with them. What was their reaction? Any tips there on how to sort of convince them to come around to your point of view?
So for me, I come from like I gave all of you my beginnings,
background,
my background. My parents were very encouraging. They just said, as you finished your studies now, just do what you want to. But I don't think everybody has that luxury here.
Exactly. So
they don't have that luxury here. I think you've got to stand up for what you believe in. Your parents will always want the best for you, always.
Yeah.
But they may want the best for you. They may not necessarily know what is best for you. There's a difference between the two. So listen to your parents, okay? But get your point of view across, you know? Even today, I get shocked when I hear that parents want their daughters to be married off at a certain age to this. I'm like, come on, just wake up. What world are you living in today? Everybody's independent. There's gender equality. You can do your stuff. You can go out there. There are girls who come to our office who leave at 3 in the morning. They're independent. They're fierce. They're strong. They have a voice. It's fantastic. So I'm saying just be very clear about what you want to do. tell your parents that, listen, dad, mom, I get what you're telling me, and respect them because they love you. But tell them that this is my point of view, this is what I feel I should be doing, and they should be supporting you in your processes also. There's someone here who may want to play cricket for the country. There's someone who may, want to just do some business, start up, say a mineral water startup, just be an entrepreneur. Just do it, just go after it and do it.
So it's good that you brought up the subject of entrepreneurship. I want to touch a little bit upon that. But entrepreneurship was something, you've always had this enterprising streak. Where does it come from? Has it helped you? And can one inculcate it? Because there's, this, and that's something which is said about acting also. Either you have it or you don't. So is that true? Can you cultivate it?
So I'll talk about the entrepreneurship first. I think for me it came from survival mode. When I was in the 8th standard, I didn't know where I'd get my next meal from. So when you are that broke, which fortunately for you guys, you all don't have that problem, but I had that in my time. The survival instinct kicks in and you want to survive. So every penny that I earned, I wanted to save and I wanted to invest. And luckily for me, my thought processes in my head was just invest everything that you have. You don't necessarily need to buy, I know I'm obsessed with motorcycles, but you don't necessarily need to buy a fancy car because it's a liability, it's going to depreciate. So just be smart about it. I'd say, I'm old school, I'd say, the first monies you earn, look at buying a home. Homes are expensive, but look at investing it somewhere. But that's the way I would look at it. Mutual funds, sahi hai na? Or whatever. So just invest somewhere, do something. But I'd say be smart with your investments, just do something. Does that mean you should not spend on yourself? Of course you should spend on yourself. I spend, for all you guys, I spend shitloads on supplements, man. Because I train, I need to train for the Hammer Brothers, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's important to look after what is your asset. Right. That is very important. For me, my asset is my body. For me, my bigger asset is my mind. So that's what I'd say to all the youngsters.
Anant, can I ask you to ask question?
And we can leave it open if you want.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think we should get some questions from the people who want to, grow up and be like John. That's the more important audience here. But since I'm the one only puts people on the spot, but I haven't put on the spot today. So John, quick question for you then. Your love for geopolitics, it's was always lovely to sort of see.
Yeah.
When I was very young, I used to come back home from school and sit behind my mom or my dad in the office. And one of the advertisers, you in the advertising industry also, one of the advertising clients called very upset because their ad, the inside page ad, was released in the international page. And he got very upset because he said, listen, nobody reads the international page. So why the hell, you should put my ad in any page of the paper, but why on the international page? That's the opinion of foreign news in India. Nobody cares about what happens outside of our country. But you keep going and making films that are sort of outside of India. And you're remembered for that, but it's a tough topic. So, so somewhere is that it's a tough commercial topic, but you love the message, you love the topic, and that's why you do it? Or are you doing it because you think that people need to know more about the world outside of India?
I think both. First of all, studios don't invest in my process very easily. Taking away from the geopolitical part, my first film was Vicky Donor, and the studio head who didn't fully fund the film and who still not paid me, said that you're making a film on a sperm donor? And I'm like, buddy, it's a serious topic. We're showing it in a fun way, but it's a serious topic. So I think accepting the kind of films that I'm doing even today, they're quite radical, my scripts. I find it very difficult to get someone to buy into the story, okay, unless it's at a very subsidized price. Secondly, I feel youngsters should know, because I think most of our youngsters, and with no disrespect, but I think most of our youngsters do not know what is happening outside, maybe not even in this country.
what Anand asked, and to an earlier point that you had made, having an interest or being interested in subjects, topics, themes outside of your immediate profession pursuit, how important is that to inform yourself as an actor or a professional in this business?
Manipur, yeah, Bollywood, yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. I think primarily, let's face it, you need to know your camera angles, you need to know how to deliver your lines, because that's what people come in to watch.
Yeah.
So they have a point when they say, listen, we don't really care, we don't really want to know anything outside. But for some of us, we believe that we're not just models, but we're role models. So if I don't walk the talk, if I'm speaking about geopolitics in my film, but I really don't know anything about geopolitics, then there's a serious problem, you know? So
What else is it that, I mean, like your interest in bikes, for example,
Yeah.
right?
I'm not interested in bikes, I'm obsessed.
Yes, sorry, my bad. But I mean, your obsession with bikes,
Yeah.
that somehow, in a happy twist of things, has also, it's all right, has also gotten into the movies.
Yeah.
Right? And has kind of made you like a, almost a spokesperson on your interest in football. You've bought a team yourself.
Yeah.
How do you sort of also tap into these interests in a productive way if somebody is that deeply interested?
So I was interested in motorcycles, and I think that's why I got offered Dhoom.
Right.
Okay, Aditya Chopra is my senior from school, again. And he's probably okay, I say this on record, he's the best producer this country has. The best. There's no one like Aditya Chopra. And he treats me like his little brother, and he fires me all the time.
What makes him such a good producer?
He's
for them to
fantastic.
know?
Conviction. He's convinced. He's a game changer. He's confident. He'll admit to his mistakes. When he goes wrong, he says, yes, I went wrong. Fantastic guy. Fantastic. And he doesn't need to please the world. He cares a damn about the outside world. He cares a damn. He says, listen, this is my job. This is what I want to do. I love that man. So in Dhoom, I only said, Adi, let me choose my motorcycle. He said, okay. So that's what I wanted to do, because I know my body language on a particular motorcycle. So that's what I want to do. Then I did a film called Dhan Dhanadan Goal, because I love football. Today I have a football club, because I love the Northeast, and I think that 80% of our talent comes from the Northeast. So when this Indian Super League started, which has been so badly managed by the All India Football Federation, I said, I want a team from the Northeast. There was no team in the Northeast. I said, how can you have a car without the engine? You need the engine, right? The engine's the Northeast. People in Bombay, and I get it, in Delhi and Bangalore, they're like, yo man, Chelsea, Man U and all, but what about grassroots football? You know what I'm saying? They're saying, our team. I said, where's your team? Were you born in Manchester? Were you born in, no, I'm not born there. I love that team. I'm saying, but we need to build grassroots here, which is why we're trying to inculcate that, and that's why I got a team in the Northeast, and I said, listen, I'm going to get Northeast into the main fold of India through football. That's very important.
Fantastic. So a lot of, you've got a lot of insights into how John has taken forward his career, brought it together with his interests, his passion, his hard work. I'll open it up to questions from you. Yes, please.
So the question I have for you is, as you are a person who have been in the industry for so long, so what are your views on artificial intelligence, and how is it going to change and shape the future of this virtual medium?
It's, sit. What's your name?
My name is Kanishk.
Tanishk.
Yeah.
Tanishk, AI is okay, how do I put this? Without making it too long, I'll keep it short. You don't need me today, you need my likeness. That's my one word, simply putting it. AI is moving way faster than what we expect it to do. You'll get a better version of any one of us in AI. So how artificial intelligence is going to affect our industry, it's going to play a major role in whatever we do, even in terms of some of the action sequences I'm doing, some of, it's there everywhere. So I think, I wouldn't say it's going to take over, but it's going to be a dominant part in our industry, a very dominant part in our industry. I wouldn't want to get into the modalities and the details of it, because that's a separate long conversation which I could have with one of you or maybe on another session on AI.
John, you have done everything like movies and all, everything you covered, but web series is pending so far. And that is one such thing pending. In the year 2022, you made a statement about you prefer theatrical release than OTT. So is there anything like some sort of a connectivity with this thing that you don't want to do web series or anything you want to talk
I still prefer theatrical releases. I want to be a big screen hero.
Yeah.
The consumption on the web is fantastic, the content is fantastic, but I want people to see me on the big screen. I don't want to be available for 290 rupees or 400 rupees or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with it. You're finally going to come there, you know what I'm saying? But I want people to wait to see my film on the big screen, and I'm okay. I'm not scared of failure also, so I don't have a problem. I'll not try and tuck it away and push it away and say, "Arey, ye ta theek nahi hai." And it's happened once outside my knowledge, but I want to be on the big screen.
I don't want to counter on that, but having said that, like we are like, you know, among those youngsters who would like to binge watch, and you are one of those action hero, like, you know, we want to see you consistent perform, like season 1, season 2, aate ja rahe, aate rahe. And we are one of those.
You'll miss me.
Yeah.
You will miss me.
Okay.
You'll have to wait for me.
Okay, thank you
Because
so very
I
much.
will come on the big screen only, at least at this point of time. But like I say, never say never. I don't see myself doing any web series at this point of time, and I want to stay true to the big screen.
But John, you had Tehran, of course that was a movie, not a series.
Yeah.
But
But that was never the plan.
That was not the plan.
Not the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So more movies in theaters is what you believe
Only in theaters.
Only in
I want
theatres.
people to come back to the theaters, and in America, that's what's happening right now. People are going back to the cinemas.
Okay.
And I think that's going to be a trend here also. You will go back to the cinemas, but it is our responsibility, and we failed you. It is our responsibility to provide you with good content, and we've not been doing it. So I take full responsibility for that process. I'm part of that process, and we will try and entertain you with better films that you could see theatrically.
One question that really upsets us, it's that the condition of censorships in this industry. So does it affect you as well as a following filmmakers?
Yeah, it
What are
does.
your thoughts about
It does. It does. Censorship does affect us. It is what it is right now, right, Adarsh? I mean, it is what it is. So you either live with it or you walk away from it, you know. But if you want to make your film, you have to be clear that you know you're going to be questioned for what you're doing. Just like how we make our films for intervals, you know, high point के बाद low point आता है. I mean, imagine which country in the world makes a film with an intermission. But I understand that canteen money is important, and you know exhibitors run on that. So I'm not disrespecting that process. But what I'm saying is, we're a different country. But the censorship part is definitely a very, very, very worrying point. And listen, I don't have a problem. Like, you know, I was misquoted once with propaganda films, and you know, when I didn't even say anything, I was misquoted. So I just want to. What I'm saying is, you should make it. Whoever wants to make, don't even censor propaganda films. Make them, but at least get good filmmakers to make them. At least वो तो सही लेके आओ ना. Your filmmakers are so bad that make those kind of films that you get called out in a second. Okay, you know, this is it. The government supporting. At least be smart about all your processes. That's what I'm saying. So even if you're doing propaganda, be smart about it. Get your point across in such a smart way that no one knows what is happening, but you've got your point across. And there is nothing wrong with, see, if you say propaganda is wrong, you're also censoring that. Don't censor that. Everybody has a right to make all kinds of cinema. Everybody has a voice. You also, this audience also has a choice to watch it or not to watch it. So you let the audience, that's a true democracy, where the audience has a choice and they say, listen, हमें नहीं देखना है यार, there's something not right about this film. You know, or go watch it and bajao it. or whatever for that. So you have to make up your mind. But it is a big issue. I don't know when it's going to get sorted, but it's a big issue. But you guys need to have a voice. You're like young filmmakers. It doesn't mean battle the system and go with a gun out there and fight. Be smart. Be smart. It's all in your writing, in your screenplay. You can get your point across, if you get what I'm trying to say.
I think the important thing is that all kinds of views and opinions must come across. All kinds of stories must be told. That's fair.
Yeah.
You know.
Everything.
And then it's the audience's choice to watch it or not watch it.
I love your movie Satyamev Jayate, and I really wanted to ask, how do you keep those kind of roles from getting into a very dark part? Like, how do you know, like, okay, I don't want to, like, that role was at a boundary where it was kind of getting a bit dark. How do you know, like, okay, this is the time I need to stop, and after this, audience might not like it?
So good question, very good question. So the reason why I did Satyamev Jayate Part 1 was, it was actually Manoj Bajpayee and me signed off on a good script. The dark part was we did Part 2. You know what I'm saying? So I think somewhere you have to understand where your limitation is, and I think Part 1 was just about dark but entertaining. And I think we should have left it at that. So I think that's a call that the producer, in this case, Nikhil Advani, and the director Milab Zaveri had to make. And I think we just about got it right in the commercial space. And Satyamev Jayate did open very big. Very big.
I'm so glad that we're getting so many questions. That means everybody's been listening to you very attentively, है ना? And
तू सुन रहा था कि तू सो रहा था?
So, okay. That gentleman here in the black jacket in the center.
Then you can ask after that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Hi, John sir.
Hi.
I'm actually shivering to ask you a question. But yeah, my name is Atharva and I'm an actor myself. I want to ask you, so you have done so many films and each film must be a different process.
Yeah.
And you, like you said, you do one film at a time. So which process was the most difficult one or the most intense, or somewhere where you thought that you had to break yourself completely to get into that character? Which was that process for you?
Very good question. I think each process was different. Some processes were very easy. Some of them were very, very difficult. I think my last film that I've just done now, where I'm playing a biopic from 28 to 68, I'm playing Rakesh Maria's biopic, the ex-commissioner of police was, I've shot it over 11 months and I'm still kind of exhausted from the process and it's still not over. So I think it's been the most enriching experience, if I can call it that. Some processes have been a lot of fun. Like I think No Smoking was a lot of fun because the director was, I love the director, you know what I'm saying? So it's fun working with Anurag, because if you take Anurag out of the system, you have an entire vacuum in our industry. The kind of films don't exist, you know what I'm saying? So I loved working with that director, but each director has added a lot of value in terms of his processes. So if I'm not mentioning certain directors that I've not worked with, it's not that I prefer them less. Every process has been very different. There are some films where I've just plain enjoyed, like Dhoom. I just sat on a motorcycle, or Dostana. I just got out of the water. You know what I'm saying? I just enjoyed it. This is good fun, working with like-minded people. At the end of the day, commercial success is also very important. So you enjoy the process. When you see that your film's commercially successful, you say, "Arey yaar, ye bahut maza aaya isme." Sometimes it plays on your mind. It's like.
So my name is Arjun, and my question is that for all the ones who are aspiring to work in the entertainment industry, can you give us insights about some habits that would help us work in this industry? Some good habits that we can inculcate?
The best habit is be honest, be disciplined. Okay, don't try and be too smart. Saying I conned this guy. You know, a lot of smart people in our industry don't exist anymore. Over smart people, and that's for anybody in life. But don't try and be over smart. So just do your work honestly, because we see honesty, we see clarity, We see intention. We're very smart. In all our conversations we see all that. We're very observant also. So just be very earnest in your processes, very earnest and honest in your processes. And boss, I always say this, hard work is the shortest cut to success. Work so hard, because today gratification everybody wants in a second. Just work really hard and people will identify it. Wherever you are, you could be a second AD, you could be a third AD, you could be the chief AD, you could be a DA, a director's assistant, whatever. Just work hard. Be honest with your story. Be honest with your storytelling. Then you will find the right people.
So my question to you is, what advice would you give to a 20-year-old version of yourself?
20?
20-year-old version of yourself.
I'd say, I mean, there are a lot of advices. I'm just trying to sift out the advices sift out and just come to the important. I'd give like 100 advices. But the one thing I'd say at a very human level, so I'm just going to take out all the over smart advices that I'd give myself. At a very human level, I'd say just remember that when you go down that road and when you're 40, be grateful to the people who helped you when you were 20. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only advice.
Thank you,
For
sir.
me, everything has to round out as to the kind of human you are.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Thank you, sir. That really gives a perspective.
Yeah.
You know, and I can tell you that he's not just saying it to impress you guys. I have known him for at least that long.
24 years.
Correct.
Yeah.
And he's really been consistent and true, and I've never had that problem with him that I have to go up to him and he'll pretend that he doesn't know me and that sort of thing. And he's really genuine about it. So, and look where he is today. So yeah, I mean, you know, that helps when, you know, when you're a good person. I think people remember that, you know, you can be the most successful person and at that moment people will sort of flock to you and come to you because you're this big celebrity. But fame by its very nature keeps changing. It's not forever, but you know, when you have a consistent professional growth, you go from highs to lows to highs. In those moments, I think these principles of being professional, being honest, being good to people around you, being grateful for those who have done good by you. I think these really sort of increase your public perception and keep you in good stead. So,
So, hello John, my name is Ayonija and I am a writer-director myself and I make films and I'm in process of making my own feature film.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, it's been a lot. Like, let's say I've poured in all of my, you know, making a film and I've completed its post-production and everything. Now what's next? Like, my film is complete, but how do I, you know, get a screen for my film?
Or you don't have a studio on board?
Like, I've made it through a fund. Like, I've found someone to fund it and then I've made it.
Okay.
And I've completed post-production, but what's next? Like, how do I find a
good question. So simple. I mean, my answer is not going to be very different from anybody you put on this panel. You have to go to different platforms and you have to present your film. They'll watch your film. You have to go to distributors and show your film. You have to showcase your film to all these people. So take time from them. So be it, say, Anil Thadani, who's probably one of the biggest distributors in this country, Kumar Mangat, who's another distributor, Jayantilal Gada. These are all distributors, correct? Netflix, Amazon, Jio, Hotstar, they are platforms. Z, it's a platform. Studios, Z, you know, Viacom. You have a lot of studios. You have to go and show your work to them because no one's going to take your film and distribute it blindly. They're going to see your product now. You made your product. They're going to see it. If they like it, they'll say, okay, we're willing to partake in this process. But if they don't like it, they'll tell you very honestly that this doesn't make sense to us.
Okay, thank you.
You know, and the other thing that, John, you mentioned earlier also, so Screen Academy as an initiative also wants to bridge these gaps in connecting people.
Go to Screen Academy.
So members who
Yeah.
are part of the academy, we are in the process, so suggestions from students
The
on
great one.
how to, because right now it's a limited sort of access to our academy members, but suggestions from all of you present here will go a long way in helping us sort of arrive at a method to connect those of you like who are trying to make a movie and reach the right people. We would be happy to do that. So please send in your suggestions, reach out
Yeah,
to us.
it's a
We'd
great
love to connect
list,
you
yeah.
with the honest, legit people who are part of our academy so that they can give you the right guidance.
Hi.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Good afternoon, sir. First of all, thanks to Screen, thank to ma'am for conducting
You're
this. John sir, you have been 1 year senior to me in the college.
Okay. Jain?
Management, MBA.
MET? Oh, okay.
So I would like to come
So
up on the
you're as
stage.
smart as I am.
No, no, no.
I'm
way.
joking,
You
I'm
are
joking.
there, I am here.
No.
So I would like to take a picture with both of you all if you are okay with this.
Yeah,
Can I
sure.
come up on the stage, sir?
After this is over,
After this
Whenever you're
session is
comfortable,
over,
sir.
we'll do
very
that.
happy to do so.
And thank you, madam, so much.
You're most welcome. That gentleman there in
I
the
think you
corner.
only wanted to tell me that you're a management student. I know. Thank you.
Hello, John sir. Good afternoon. I
Hi.
am Jason Rodriguez from this college. So I wanted to ask you about your gangster roles, which you have played in many movies. For example, Mumbai Saga, Shootout at Wadala. So you have also been the cop in some movies. For example, Batla House.
Yeah.
And also the gangster. So how is it for you to shelve in those roles? How do you study those roles before the movies? What actually you do?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I love playing bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course we know that.
But obviously you need to study the character, you need to understand where he came from, and a lot of it is also about the commercial appeal around the character. Like, for example, Manya Surve, in real life, was a bodybuilder. He was a tough guy, he was a bodybuilder, he was like trained hard. So we took advantage of that, made it commercially appealing for our audience, where then you show him going mad and screaming like this, and but very important to make sure that you marry content with commerce. So similarly in Batla House, I play a cop. I went to that cop's house, Sanjeev Kumar Yadav. He's the most decorated cop in the history of India. He's got 11 or 12 gallantry awards by the President of India. So I sat with him to understand his psyche. And Jason, he looks just like you. He's just a simple guy, bespectacled and sweet, smiling. But on a bad day, if you're on his bad side, it's over for you, man. So I'm saying just to study and understand how these guys function on an everyday basis is very important, and you bring some of that into the film.
Thank you for what you're doing for the Indian football, sir.
Please ask AIFF to do something more.
Hello, John. This is Ishpreet here. I just wanted to ask you, what kind of stories do you look personally as a producer?
Good question. I look for anything and everything. Anything and everything outside of adult comedy, I look for anything and everything. Like, what I'm really interested in right now is horror. I think it's a genre I want to tap into. I want to do that. I want to do something different. The other one that I love the most is comedy. I love comedy because of my personal experiences also with Garam Masala, with Dostana, with Desi Boys, Houseful. So I love that space. It's a happier space, and I think as a producer, not just as an actor, but as a producer, comedy, but horror is a space that I'm really interested in. Outside of that, anything that's radically different. Boss, not formula. No formula. As a producer, come to me with something that's completely different, and I'd like to dig my fingers into it.
So all you aspiring writers with different ideas, send your script to John Abraham.
Like I told Anurag Kashyap that everybody makes sequels out of hit films. Let's make it out of a flop film. Let's do No Smoking Part 2. I told Anurag. so because I think, you must just have fun. Anyway, you're going to get thrashed either way. So just enjoy, just enjoy it. And I think No Smoking is a fun film. So just imagine having a part 2. I said, Anurag, let's just do it. I think he sat in front of me, he heard me, and he just took it out. He didn't hear me.
Please. Oh, okay. Go
Good
ahead.
afternoon, sir.
After
My
that.
name is Janvi Khedia. I'm a media student. My question is, first of all, I have loved Garam Masala all my life. Like, that movie is very underappreciated.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I have met like very few people who have seen Garam Masala, and that is like a bizarre
Oh.
thing. I really want to know, will we see in the near future you in a funny character? Like, I love you as if you play a funny character, I think your comic timing is amazing.
See, people who've not seen, if they've not seen Garam Masala, then I want to do more funny films, okay? And I would want to get a great, if someone's got a comedy script, share it with me. Priyanka, you've got students here. I'd love to do comedy. I think it's the best thing to do. But let me tell you one thing, it's also the toughest thing to do. The toughest thing to do is make people laugh. Because your comic timing has to be on point. If it's not on point, it could go really wrong for you. And I think Garam Masala was one of those films where the director just let the camera roll and Akshay and me just started doing our own thing after a point.
You and Akshay sir have great camaraderie. You both have a really good chemistry.
Yeah. Akshay's, I mean, honestly, in terms of just comic timing, he's the best. He's superb. And just working with him makes it all the more very special, and you get to kind of learn a lot.
Do you have a specific director you would like to work with who makes funny comic films?
I think Abhishek Sharma is fantastic. He made Tere Bin Laden.
Yes.
He's actually got the funniest bone. You'll be shocked if I tell you another name. Shivam Nair can make the funniest film in the world. He's made The Diplomat. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The other guy is Priyadarshan, who's absolutely outstanding. So there are a lot of people who can make, see, it depends on what your sense of humor is. Like, I actually love slapstick humor. But slapstick humor also has to have some kind of taste in it. You can't just go crazy, you know? And there are different, there's situational humor, there's, different kinds of humor, there's dark humor. I love dark humor. So if you get a chance, you must, if you guys get a chance, it's a very, very old film. When your parents were, I think, born at that time, it was called Ek Ruka Hua Faisla. It's, I think Shahid's dad was in it. Shahid Kapoor's father was in this film. One of the most fantastic films you can see. So just, my favorite comedy film is Jaane Bhi Do Yaro. You get a chance, you must.
I think I have seen it.
It's epic. Please watch it. Please watch. It's epic. But I think those are Andaz Apna Apna. Great film. Great film. I think Salman Khan and Amir Khan were outstanding. So those are really, really funny films. Hera Fairy.
Phir Hera Fairy.
Yeah, but Hera Fairy with Paresh Rawal and Akshay and Sunil Shetty. See, these are fun films that, you can just put on at any. There's another film you must see. It's called Garam Masala. It's very, very funny.
Please.
I am going to invite on stage Mr. Anant Goenka, who is the Executive
Anant,
Director of the
kept you
Indian
waiting.
Express Group. And the Screen Academy, I have to tell you, is his baby, his idea. And he was the one who thought of this great initiative to connect young filmmakers such as you. So, Anant, please say a few words.
I won't take too much time. Thank you. Hello. I won't take too much time. I just want to ask all of you, we're going to try something very, quite audacious here, and I've asked a lot of help from John and a lot of our friends who formed the Academy. How many of you have last watched a film award show? Can I get a show of hands? You're all film fans. How many of you have actually ever watched, the last time you have watched a film award show? On TV or OTT, or it doesn't matter. Okay, so how many of you actually have faith in a film award show? There's one person there. Okay, so I'm seeing a hand pointing downwards. So Indian award shows, yeah, Indian award shows. So guys, we're trying to do something very different here. We're going to relaunch Screen Awards. We started the show in 94 or 93? 90? 95. We started the show in 95. It became nothing but a television entertainer. So we sold it to Star TV. I bought it back about 6 months ago. We're going to relaunch Screen Awards. And we want to do it with a lot of authenticity and with a lot of honesty, a lot of integrity. So we've formed the Screen Academy. A lot of the Academy members, John is one of them. They're going to decide who wins the Screen Awards. We're not going to have, we aren't going to give awards for people just because they're attending. So it's an award show, it's an award, it's not a return present. You won't get an award because you're dancing at the event. You're going to get an award because you deserve it. You're going to get an award because so there's a lot of science to it. And we're doing the show on April. We're going to finally get Screen Awards out. April 1st weekend. And I just want to ask all of you to just pay attention to it. I want all of you as film enthusiasts just kind of have some interest and pay attention. We're going to try to do it a little differently. It's going to be unlike any other award you've seen, but it's going to have a lot of honesty, a lot of integrity. And I think it's a big part of appreciating and really valuing the soft power of India is if we can actually appreciate good cinema. And that's really the whole objective here. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you all. Thank you.
And just to let you know, I know Anant, and I'm very finicky personally, probably the Parsi side of me. I'm very finicky of who I associate myself with at a very personal level. These people are fantastic. Anant is fantastic, and he comes from a great place. And I really believe, Anant, that we're going to have a very different, credible award, not like most or all Indian awards. No? So it's going to be different, and yeah, the dance system has to. Oh my God! Yeah, it's really funny. You dance.
Oh, John, thanks for your support, man. You know, a lot of the ideas you shared with us. And for all the time you've made, because this is really, I think, you know, I think the strength of society really is how confidently we tell our stories. And that's why Screen Academies come, you know, because the idea is that you guys don't get access to the people who actually make magic happen. You have the passion, but you don't get you don't get access to people like John. So that's why he's supporting us by joining the Academy. And so that's the whole idea here. Thanks, John.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.